Well, everybody bear with me. I'm sure you can hear me. I can't hear anything at the moment, but we're definitely getting there. Y'all be safe. Oh, it's been a while since I've been back. I can say that part. I apologize. Life's been kind of busy, Not everything works the way you want it to sometimes. I've been kind of busy, and yeah, I've been kind of busy. I'm just regrouping from surgery. Had an aneurysm on my leg. They had to fix that. Now we are where we are. Let's get my headset hooked up. Let's see. Okay. I can at least hear myself now. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Frank's Corner. I'm sorry, it's been a while. You know, like I said, been through some medical issues. Moved to a new place. You know, still working, trying to regroup. I had an aneurysm in the right leg. They had to go in and fix it. There's about a stitch is still in me. I still have about a 7-inch scar going from the bottom of the thigh down through the top of the calf through the back of my leg. But I'm still breathing, so I'm still here. I guess that's the best way to look at it. I'm still here. I ain't died yet. Hopefully that's a good thing anyway. Trying to sit here and figure out if moving. My son went through all this just to see if it's hooked back up. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but we'll find out anyways. I'm hoping it's all hooked up, but man, a lot has happened since I've been gone. Some new stuff I'm reading. Oh, Trump and them want to destroy the European Union and destroy NATO. How nice. I told you, I've said it before, Trump is trying to alienate the United States and make us stand alone. Putin's going to take advantage of that as soon as that dumb Donald Trump finally figures all that out and gets it done. So we're going to call this stream Welcome to the Donald Trump Hour. Let's talk about some of the crazy shit that's going on. So, okay, we've had all these mass shootings and stuff, and I listened to Donald Trump address that briefly and then run right over into the arch that he wants to build. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be the greatest thing you've ever seen. Oh my goodness. I don't know what imaginary world Donald Trump lives in, but it definitely amazes me with the way that man thinks. Or anybody that supports Trump. I'm just in awe. I'm trying to figure out exactly what kind of drugs these people are on. It still fascinates me. I've got some family relatives that, apparently take a lot of those drugs too. Think Trump's something else. Again, I haven't seen nothing Trump said so far since he took office has actually come to pass. We ain't made America great again. We made America suck. Is what he's done. And I was listening again that judge is going to go ahead and go forward with prosecuting the United States for violating an order, holding them in contempt. They just haven't quite decided out how they're going to do it. But when they took off with all those people to other countries, El Salvador and stuff, the judge told them not to do that, and they did it anyways. And the comment someone made inside was, "We'll just have to tell that judge to fuck off." So that's pretty, that's relevant in a lot of ways. We have a procedure for a reason, and they don't care about procedure. But the thing about the NATO stuff that struck me funny is Trump has put out some plans that copy Russia. So his idea, he's getting from Putin himself. If you people don't wake up, I'm sorry. You people need to wake up. I mean, how much asleep can you be? Honestly, let's be truthful. How asleep can you be to sit back and watch all this stuff go on? I mean, let's tell the truth. You're just watching this stuff go on. Most of you ain't doing anything about it. You know, most of us few people that speak out about it, yeah, we're risking our fucking neck. Don't worry. We realize we're risking our fucking neck. We just don't care. The country's more important. I was listening to a little fellow give a segment on what happened at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. And he said that hurt him more than the Twin Towers. He said because the Twin Towers was done by a foreign entity. January 6th was done by our own fucking people, trying to crush the democratic process. And that's what Trump is doing, is crushing the democratic process. I don't give a fuck what any of you people think. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, anything else. He's trying to destroy the Constitution. So what is wrong with you people? Okay, so now it's okay that we, hold on, although this is definitely war crimes, we're going to take out ships in Venezuela, water, and say they're drug ships with no proof. And then people want to get on here and say, oh, well, they were drug ships. No, they weren't, bitch. What's your proof? Plus, the ship was headed in a different direction, not even anywhere toward the United States. It's different to bomb people in U.S. territorial water. That is different. Because that's in our own territorial water. It's a whole different ballpark to be blowing people up in international waters or in some other country's waters. Do you understand that this is a crime, a violation of law? You know, this is why Donald Trump is in such a hurry to destroy NATO and the European nations. You know, plus he's mad because, well, his peace talks with Ukraine didn't go the way he wanted it to. Because he's wanting Ukraine to give up their property to Russia, and they don't want to do that, and I don't blame them for not wanting to do it. How the fuck do you think we would react if someone wanted to take some of our property over here? It's not got a goddamn point. If they're communists, not communists, I don't give a fuck. How would you take it if someone came to the United States, took 3 states, and then said, oh, well, we'll stop the war, but we're keeping the 3 states we took so far? And there is not a damn motherfucker on God's green earth in the United States would think that was okay. This is the shit that bothers me. Everybody thinks it's okay because it's in some other fucking country. But eventually it's going to come fucking here. That's how stupid you are. Donald Trump is a dumbass. From this point forward, his name is Donald Dump. Because Donald's just a fucking shit turd walking around doing his shit. So I'm going to just call him Donald Dump. And all of his administration that goes along with it. They know they're breaking the law. They don't care. You know, and you people out here that support them, you're just as fucking stupid as they are. You're breaking the law. You let them break the law. I mean, I expect he's already, he gave a pardon to a big drug dealer just so he can get back in Honduras, try to take over that government. Because, you know, Donald Trump's fucking crook, so let's pardon the crook. He just pardoned a few people that committed fraud like he did when he had the fake fucking charity and fake university. He did shit fraudulently. So now he pardons people with fraud. You know, he goes back to the election from, you know, January back in the 2020 election. Oh, they ripped me off. No, bitch, nobody ripped you off. You fucking lost. You didn't even win this last election. Let's be fucking realistic. You rigged the election so you could win, but you didn't win the election. I'll point blank, get in his fucking face and tell him he lost the fucking election. Because he did. Yes, the Republicans have rigged stuff. So now we got some Republican business people, rich billionaires that want to bring back public executions. So our country's not going forward, it's going backwards. And it continues to go backwards as long as Donald Trump is sitting in the United States presidency office. Isn't that something? Don't you think that's a problem? I think that's a problem. I can't see how people don't believe that that's a problem. Do you understand? this is a big issue we have here. We have an issue. We need to fix it. You know, if the Republicans were so good and their policies were so good, then here's what I believe. I believe they'd win an election easily. Easily. But because they know they can't, they want to rig the elections, you know, make more seats for Republicans because they know they can't win. So this tells me they're a weak party all by itself. Because if you're a strong party, you don't need to rig shit. Everything's in your ballpark. Now, you get out there to polls, no, Donald Trump's not popular, nobody likes him. That fucking small ass percentage of fucking nutcases that like him, they're nutcases just like him. That's why. You know, Donald Trump is just a fucking idiot. I'll say it again when people talk. I see many people saying he's got this education from such and such. He ain't got shit from that such and such. His daddy paid for that diploma with some buildings. Let's be realistic. Fuck it. Prove me wrong. You go get his transcripts and show me that motherfucker was a straight A student. Oh, hold on. You can't get his transcripts. You want to know why you can't get his transcripts, you dumb fucks? Because he sued the university to make sure that you couldn't get his transcripts. So no, his transcripts aren't coming out. Why would anybody who's so fucking smart go to that link? Why would you do that if you're such a smart person? Hell, put your transcripts out. I got a college education. I had way over a 3.0 GPA. Go ahead. Ask me for my transcripts. I'll be sure and give them to you. I don't care. That's just the way it is. At least, you know, I'm not sad about the work I did. I worked pretty hard while I was in college. I did study as good as I could study, try to stay focused and do my stuff. So tell me why Donald Trump wants to hide his stuff. And then the Epstein files, I like this one. Yes, we know he screwed young underage girls at Epstein Island. Be realistic, but that's not the problem with that. You know, he don't really care. He knows you guys are stupid. You Trump supporters are stupid, and y'all just ignore it. What his problem is, he's got a tiny fucking dick, so he just didn't want that to come out because of some videos. So he's got this little bitty dick about this big, and he don't want anybody to know his dick is about this big. Isn't that funny? Kind of ironic, ain't it? That's the issue he has with that. I don't want these coming out. I don't want these videotapes coming up. People can see how small of a dick I really got, bitch. I didn't expect him to have a fucking big dick motherfucker use bone spurs to get out of serving in the military. Nobody in his family's ever served in the military. He mad at Harvard because his son couldn't get in there because his son is just as fucking stupid as he is. That's exactly the point. So, we've got this, let's destroy NATO, let's destroy Europe, let's, get a standalone become a standalone country. Look here. I read something the other day. Person for person, military-wise. When it comes from person to person, we don't match China. This is a fucking fact. They have a large personal military, millions of people in their military. We don't even get close. So if it comes to a ground war, we're going to fucking get our ass kicked. Technology, we might have them. But that's not going to solve every problem. And then if, Donald Trump gets us away from NATO and stuff, like he's trying to do, and, destroys our relationship with Europe and all that other good stuff like he's trying to do, then this is my prediction. North Korea, who helps Russia, China, who helps Russia, they're going to come at us all at one time, all three of them, because we are sitting over here by our lonesome. You dumbass Trump supporters, you better fucking wise up, buddy. You don't think that shit's going to happen, then you're just as stupid as can be. I'm sorry, I'm going to insult you. I don't give a fuck. You have to start looking at this in the big picture instead of the small. Unless you just want to focus on Trump's tiny dick. You need to look at the big fucking picture. The big picture is where it looks bleak. Because, right now we are in NATO. So if we're attacked, we have other countries that come into our aid, and that's the agreement. If one of us are attacked, we're all attacked, and we all fight at the same time. But when that happens and they attack the United States, we don't have that agreement anymore. We are by ourselves. So I'm curious why these people are so in love with Trump. Okay, look, I'll always say this: he's a convicted felon. That's not a fucking false. That's a fact. He was convicted in a court of his peers. He is a convicted felon. He's a fucking con man. There's a fact for that too. Fake university, fake charity con man. Backed up by facts. He's committed adultery on everybody he's been married to, other facts. He's a pedophile, Epstein Island, other facts. None of that shit's changed. He said his daughter was fuckable. What part of you dummies don't get that? Told a 10-year-old girl he'd be dating her in a few years. What part of you don't get that? My goodness. Admitted to going back in his dressing room to see young girls naked. What part of that y'all don't get? Y'all consider this to be what needs to represent America. And again, I don't think he won the election. Let me get it point blank across. The bitch cheated. He's a liar and he's a cheater. It ain't going to change. He lies constantly every day. I listen to him talk. But it's going to be beautiful. Look over here. We're going to start this big ballroom that'll host 700 people. But it's going to be beautiful. We didn't ask for permission to do that. We didn't get any permits to do that. We just started tearing shit down. Illegal shit again. All illegal. Like Donald Trump, thinks he's God. He's not. The best thing sometimes that people like him can do for this country, the best he'll ever do for this country is die. That is the best he will ever do for this country. And he should die while he's in office. I already realize he's got health problems, so I'm hoping those health problems take him out really quick. Because that's the best thing that'll ever happen to this country is his ass die. Notice everybody he's put in power, everyone, are not qualified to do their position. They're making decisions. Oh, hell, someone just caught that shooter, FBI. Oh, sent people, go arrest this kid. Fuck up that kid's life, and then, oh, we got the wrong person. Although Patel there has no fucking experience running the FBI or anything else. None whatsoever. No law enforcement background or anything else. Let's just put some dumbass over there to run a department. It's kind of like Robert F. Kennedy running the Health and Human Services. I mean, come on. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with these people that support him? I'm not saying necessarily you as my listener, but what is wrong with the people in this country? Do you understand? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with the people in this country. It's baffling to me that we've gone down this much in a year's time. Most dictators want to keep a division among the people. Most good presidents want to try to unite the people. Donald Trump's not a uniter, he's a divider. And all of his following people are dividers. I got this not direct relative of one of my relatives, Richard Hester. I figure that motherfucker's a German spy or something. He talks about Trump like Trump is something else, but the motherfucker's dumb as dirt. I realize that, he don't really care. And, the whole goal for Trump and all his supporters really is to destroy the United States. That is their goal. And anybody that's got any ounce of intelligence can see that. So, I'm just amazed. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just in amazement at some of the stuff that's happening. The NATO stuff not that, I'll be honest, I expected it, because obviously, Trump is just Trump's just that stupid. I'm going to destroy the United States as quick as I can. I'm going to get rid of the country. Donald Trump has always been vindictive. And if you try to pull him out of the office, if you were trying to actually impeach his ass, he'd destroy this country 10 times faster. He'd probably go push a button on all the fucking nukes. That's how important he fucking thinks he is. And then all this advertisement in the White House. Here's your golden ticket. Buy the golden ticket to the United States. Meanwhile, if you walk the process of getting here legally, we'll just arrest you before you finish your last court date and deport you, although you're walking the right course, because your bitch ass didn't give me $5,000 to put in my, $5 million to put in my personal bank account for me to give you the citizenship. Do you understand how stupid that actually sounds? This year, just in golf fees, the taxpayers have pushed way over $100 million. So let's get realistic about what's going on so far. Right now, we're about $200 billion more in debt this year than we were when Biden was in office, just so you understand, and that's rising daily. The American taxpayers, $2,400 of your money this year, actually, you didn't get to keep. So you lost about $2,400 more this year than during Biden administration. You know, most of you people who talk about Biden, you are some dumb fucks too. Apparently, you just don't pay attention. You think that Donald Trump's fixing shit. Well, day one, he said as soon as he took office, he'd lower prices. I'll be damned. I haven't seen a fucking price get lowered anywhere, and he's been in office almost a year. What fucking happened? Okay, again, let me give you a quick education for you people that don't know a goddamn thing about economics. We are a supply and demand economy. Our whole economy is actually driven by supply and demand. No Donald Trump or any other president before him can control prices. Cannot. They can freeze prices for a short amount of time, kind of like they did during the Depression. You know, and it's kind of funny. You know who all the broke people were during the Depression? They were all white folks. For a matter of fact, Cadillac was selling cars back in the day, about $3,000. There was no financing back in those days. And they switched from targeting the white market to the immigrants market, because the immigrants weren't allowed to put their money in banks and shit, so they didn't lose their money. They were still holding on to their money. Those are the people that actually got through the Depression with the least amount of pain, because they weren't allowed into the system, so their money didn't vanish with everybody else's. Check it out. Go back and look it up. So Cadillac focused on those people that had cash, not the everybody that went bankrupt. The millions of people went bankrupt. Millions of people jumped out of windows. You know, so we will make our way back to that direction. So, you know, the beef people here are mad because Trump's trying to buy beef from Argentina, which is cutting off the United States cattle ranches here. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw our own people under the bus like we did with the soybean shit that we used to grow that we sold to China. Now Trump threw them under a bus. Now they need a bailout of $12 billion because Trump fucked them up. So this isn't a bailout they would have needed at all, but Trump created the problem. Now he's bailing them out to say, oh, I'm the good guy. Hold on. I created the fucking problem. Now I'm going to bail you out of it. And remember, I'm the good guy. I mean, come on now. How blind do people actually have to be to this? I'm just curious. Again, I'm fascinated with all the stuff that, you know, people do or think or say. You know, most of them don't research it. And I mean, that's okay. That's all good. Some people that I see, they're fucking, you know, immigrants themselves, but sitting here sucking Trump's balls. I'm sorry. That just makes me laugh even more. I'm trying to figure out why he's sucking Trump's balls. You know, he's after countries. You know, Republicans want to make it, they want to make immigration dead. Nobody can come to the country. That's what they want to do. And if you look at the true history of the United States, go back to the 20s and stuff, when the country was being born, railroad tracks were being put down and all that good stuff. That was done by foreigners. That wasn't done by the United States people. That was done by foreigners. Chinese, Scottish, Irish, Italians. That was all done by foreigners. Most of that steel work and stuff in big buildings were done by foreigners, not by United States citizens. They built this damn country. For a matter of fact, even the U.S. citizens are fucking foreigners into this world, this land over here. My grandmother's Cherokee Indian, so she's probably the only one that I can sit there and say, and her brothers and, their family that they were here before anybody got here, so they're definitely not the foreigners. Everybody else here is the foreigners. Keep this in mind. If your ass ain't Native American, you're a foreigner. Your family came here as foreigners too. That's the thing that really irks me about these people nowadays. They don't really understand. They're foreigners. If you're in the state of Texas and you're not Mexican, you're a fucking foreigner. Plain and simple, Mexico owned this area at one time. And that's the things that fascinate me. We white people in general tend to think that they're better than anybody else, but realistically, they're worse than everybody else. They're worse, always will be worse. They think that because they're white, they're privileged, they're this, they're that, we're smart, you're not. Bullshit. Okay, Donald Trump and his envy of Clinton and Obama. Clinton was smarter than him, yes. Clinton had better education than him. Clinton earned it. Obama damn sure was smarter than Trump. Still smarter than Trump. Will always be smarter than Trump. And earned a degree from fucking Harvard where Trump's own son couldn't even get into because he was a shitty ass fucking student. These are the things. So, welcome to Donald Dump's world. It's not going to get any better. Things are not going to get better anytime soon. We would have to completely strip every one of Trump's administrators and Trump himself. And then maybe in the next couple of decades, we'll mend the reputation we had before his ass took office. We had a good reputation all the way around. Trump's not a businessman. Please don't even think that. You're stupid as stupid can be. You don't know Trump's history if that's what you think. That's a fact. He's not educated. He ain't a good businessman. He's not a good president. His tariffs are just a tax on us. Anybody that don't understand that the tariffs are a tax on us, I'm sorry, buddy. Go back and take some basic economic classes. I'll go back to supply and demand. Why no president can control the price? Because the price is controlled by the consumer itself, supply and demand. If we have a big supply and low demand, the prices drop. If we have a low supply and high demand, the prices raise. This is the same with gasoline. OPEC's been playing the game for years. When the market gets too saturated with fuel and the prices start going down, you know what they do? They stop producing oil and drive the price right back up. We'll never produce enough oil here in the United States to actually make a dent in what comes out from the Middle East. It's not going to happen. If you believe it is, please get out of that imaginary world. It would take us decades, many decades, to get to that point. Many. And in the same breath, some of these parks and stuff that are protected from us drilling in them, Trump's opening them up, so some of the protected areas we have for wildlife and stuff, all that's going to go extinct too. The stupid part about white people and, people in general is you're going to extinct animals that are necessary for the ecosystem, and then eventually it's all going to backfire onto you. Now, Trump, again, sick. The bitch knows he's dying. I know he's fucking dying. He don't really have no care about your future. He only has a care about what he gets before he goes. That's a fact. Look at all those pictures of him. He looks kind of shitty in a bunch of them. And he seems to look worse as time goes by. So, and whatever health shit you gear, trust me, this is the biggest lioness administration I've ever seen in my life. This 60 years I've been here, buddy. So you're never going to hear the truth from Trump or anybody in his administration. You'll hear a bunch of excuses, though, when they fuck up and they get caught. That's the whole point. Naomi's making excuses right now. Patel's making excuses right now. Donald Trump is, well, shit happens. So, again, I'm I try to be a little bit more open-minded about stuff, but I realize that this world is going to hell in a handbasket, and young people that follow Trump are just as crazy and stupid as can be. You know, you want to take away women's rights, take away gay people's rights, take away this, take away that. You're so fucking stupid. Because eventually you're going to make it so they can take away your right to. You know, once you start letting them take, they just take more, 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 more. So they'll be coming for whatever rights you think you have. Don't worry. It's going to go away too. I mean, they're already controlling media, trying to sue different media outlets, try to stop the free speech stuff from happening. They want to put out propaganda. This is Russia. This is Germany, 1930s Germany with Hitler. Most of you people, I guess most of the majority of the people that Trump supports, you have no fucking education when it comes to history. Why don't you get some education? Because history tends to repeat itself, especially when ignorant people are on the side of the ignorant people running this country. You know, that's the problem. There's too much support for ignorance, and nobody really cares. You know what I mean? Well, some of us do. I care. We're going to have to actually fight this system. We are. Most of us are going to have to stand up and say something. I went into Schultz today. I saw a fella standing by himself with a sign on the side of the highway. All it said is impeach Trump. That one person standing there by himself, impeach Trump. I don't know how many people saw it, but a lot of people drive through there, so he got his message out to a lot of us. Impeach Trump. I say impeach Trump and imprison Trump is what I say, and imprison all of his administrators. You know, and hopefully we'll get some people with a little bit more common sense that want to try to unite the United States instead of keep it divided. You know, most of these people don't even understand criminals. I hate that they try to focus a small, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 crimes happens from, you know, immigrants. Okay, yes, true. It's the same in other countries. A small percentage of crimes happen from the United States citizens. They don't harp on it like we're doing right here. They're smart enough to know that in their country, their people create the most crimes. In this country, our people create the most crimes. All school shootings, white male. Most terrorist acts, white male. None of these are black, Hispanic, you know, most of them are white male. For a matter of fact, the bombing there was way back in the day a janitor that wired the schools up with dynamite, white male, believe it or not. Something happened that all of his bombs didn't go off, that dynamite went off, but a good chunk of them didn't kill a lot of people. He was white male too. So, this is your example of white males right there. I mean, good example. Because you look it up. Look at all the school shooters. Show me a picture of a black school shooter. And if there is one, that would be such a rarity. If you find one, that would be very rare. You know, so now we're going after religion. We want Christianity to be, you know, be able to do what it wants to do, but then go after any other religion. Well, I'm sorry, that's kind of a hypocrite, being a hypocrite. You want to push your religion and nobody else's. The government supports no religion at all. Read the Constitution, please. People don't read the Constitution. But anyways, I've had about enough. I need to go clean my sutures and all that good stuff. And I'll be back in a couple of days. I'll be doing some catch-up reading and see what all's happened since I was down. I was in the hospital for a while. But I'll catch up and we'll start talking about all the different things that I catch up on. You know, but, you know, again, you know, if you come out to listen to me, I appreciate it. You know, thanks. This is Frank's Corner. I hope you have a nice day. Y'all take care of yourselves. Be safe. Until next.